because he does rely heavily on his single.
Well, here we go. We're ready for baseball tonight. Ichiro leads it off for the Seattle Mariners. He'll be followed by Branyan and then Lopez on a gorgeous 75-degree night here in the Motor City. The 1-0 pitch. Ichiro cuts and misses 1-1. Well, this guy is leading the American League in hitting at .363. He's having a terrific season. Slap toward left field, slicing away from Rayburn. It will land fair and roll to the corner. And this is trouble with Ichiro on the run. He'll cruise into second base and stop there with a double and a leadoff two-base hit for the Seattle Mariners.
And one of the reasons why he gets 200 hits a year, he uses foul line to foul line. Tremendous hand-eye coordination. You saw him kind of just golf that ball and slice it down by the 345 sign. And by the time Rayburn runs it down, Ichiro standing on second base with a leadoff double. Boy, is he some kind of player. He's fun to watch.
22 base hits now for Ichiro, so a very quick scoring opportunity for Seattle. And here's a guy who's having a terrific season for them. Russell Branyan has 23 home runs.
He's not the typical number 2 hitter. He's not necessarily going to be trying to move Ichiro over to third base. He's going to be trying to drive him in.
Well, Leland was talking about this before the game. It's kind of taken a page out of Tony La Russa's book and even Jim Leland's book, where you put some power in that 2 slot.
He's got a lot of it. He was just 1 home run shy of his major league high of 24 set back with the Cleveland Indians a few years back.
Of course, the M's these days are managed by Don Wakamatsu, who has done a terrific job in keeping his team in the race in the American League West.
Don's got himself a real nice situation. I know Seattle lost 100 ball games last year, but it's a tremendous city, good baseball facility, and Don Wakamatsu is one of the smartest baseball men that I've been around, and I've known him for a long, long time.
First year as the skipper of the M's. 0-2 on Russell Branyan, just underway, a leadoff double by Ichiro. Porcello missing outside, 1-2.
Joe Madden also took Don Wakamatsu to his first All-Star game in St. Louis. Usually first-year managers don't get a chance to go to the Summer Classic, but that's just how fond Madden is of Wakamatsu.
Now the 1-2 pitch. High, towering fly ball into shallow center. The shortstop Everett is back. Staring into the sunlight, he makes the play.
If there is a negative to having a power guy hitting in that number 2 spot, that might be it right there. Leadoff double, when you usually have a table setter that's batting second, a guy that will give himself up for the good of the team to get that guy to third base. Branyan doesn't play that type of game.
Yeah, that's a good point. And when you look at the differences in these teams, of course, Polanco is in the 2 slot for the Tigers, who excels at moving runners up.
And also not afraid to hit with 2 strikes is Polanco. He'll take a pitch or 2.
Here is Jose Lopez. Well, in talking with a lot of the Seattle people before the game, they would keep asking us, well, what's going on with your team? And it's, we've been able to pitch well, just haven't been able to hit. And to a man, they would all say, same with us. We can pitch. We just haven't been able to put it together offensively. And they are without Adrian Beltre, one of their bigger bats. Their third baseman is out on the DL.
And they also just recently traded away Yuniesky Betancourt, who for a couple of years wearing a Seattle Mariners uniform, we were told he was going to win a Gold Glove.
Runner breaking for third. Here comes the throw from Laird. Not in time. Ichiro had a nice jump and steals it with ease.
Polanco was doing the best that he possibly could do in the back pocket of Ichiro at second base, but he got a pretty good break off of second. And Laird, even though he's the best throwing catcher in the American League as we speak, he had no chance at throwing Ichiro out.
Infield in now for Detroit. Lopez, believe it or not, has been their best RBI man. He is hitting third in their lineup, so that indicates that he's having himself a nice year. But 51 RBIs on the season, a 7-game hitting streak.
Well, Jim's going to make Lopez earn it here in the first inning. The infield playing in, and which means it's going to take a fly ball or something hit sharply through the infield.
And it's a base hit right by Everett. Ichiro will score, and Lopez gets it done with a 1-out single.
Well, give Ichiro a lot of credit for that RBI. Yeah, that Lopez got right there by leading off with a double and stealing third with only one out. And nothing Everett could do. And if you're Lopez or Ken Griffey Jr., you'd have to think that you're going to get a lot of RBI opportunities with Ichiro leading off as many hits as he gets every year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Ichiro is on pace for over 230 hits this year.
That would be the 9th straight year, partner, that he has gotten 200 or more hits.
Flies in the All-Star game every year. Griffey sends this one high in the air to right center. Maglio with a lot of room out there. Wrong part of the ballpark for Griffey. 2 gone. And they will leave it up to Franklin Gutierrez. What a nice addition he has been to their team. Former Cleveland Indian, 42 RBIs, 12 home runs. Two out, a run in for Seattle. Gutierrez has hit safely in his last 5, and he looks at a strike. If you were to put Seattle in the American League Central Division, they'd be leading by half a game. But they're not, so they're not. They're in the American League West in 3rd place behind the Angels in Texas. The 1-0. Chopper right back to the mound. Porcello will handle this one. And the side retired. Seattle gets a run. They leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 1st. 1-0 Seattle. American Park, and the Tigers will send their lineup. It looks like this. Brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute. Curtis Granderson leads it off in center field. Placido Polanco at second base. Miguel Cabrera, he is hitting in the 3 spot for the Tigers. And Marcus Thames, the DH. Maglio is in right. Ryan Rayburn is in left. Inge, Laird, and Everett are your bottom 3. And Curtis Granderson leads it off for Detroit. Granderson at 254 will try and get it started offensively. First pitch from Olsen is in there for a strike. Granderson with 19 home runs this year. Driven in 44. And he slices one into center field, a base hit. Leadoff single as we check out the Bernstein advantage. Brings you the scouting report. I'm Greg Olson.
Well, does he have a twin brother? Because Olsen this year has had several starts, but he's also worked out of the bullpen quite often for Don Wakamatsu. And right now, Wakamatsu going with a 4-man rotation until he needs a 5th starter or until he's forced into going back to a 5-man rotation. And in a couple of starts in his career against the Tigers, Olsen has not fared very well. And he is 0-1 with an earned run average over 11.5.
And your 4th bullet point is, I called him Greg. His name is Garrett. Sorry, Garrett. Garrett Olson. Here's Placido Polanco. And he loops one foul back out of play. Garrett Olson is 6'1", 205 out of Fresno, California. Facing Polanco, who's batting .257. And this is kind of what we're talking about. We'll see if Polanco in that 2 spot can do something to advance the runner here. Get something going. Tigers not afraid to put a play on with Placido. Granderson good speed at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Polanco in that series against the Yankees was 3 for 11, and really not too many good offensive numbers against the Yankees pitching staff, although the Tigers staff was just as good. Tigers hit just .208 in that series against the Yanks. Granderson now 16 stolen bases. He's been caught only 4 times. Right center field. That ball is down. It's going to go to the wall and score a run. Granderson coming around third. Polanco goes to second base. It's a double. It's an RBI, and 2 batters into the bottom of the first. We're tied. That didn't take long.
Both Gutierrez and Ichiro in right and center field playing Polanco rather shallow. He gets a looked like a changeup at the top of the strike zone, gets on top of it. He splits the seam, and Granderson, of course, has the speed to score from first on a double in the right center field. Very spacious here at Comerica Park in that area.
Polanco with another 2-base hit. And that's his 42nd RBI. Now we'll see if they can keep it rolling here with Miguel Cabrera. Each team with a run on 2 hits. Cabrera's been rolling in terms of batting average. He's hit in 15 straight games, and that's a .324 average. But when you delve into the numbers, he's had just 4 RBIs this month, which is unlike Cabrera, who has 51 total for the year. Olson missing high and away. 2-0. Polanco at second, nobody out. These 2 teams met in April at Safeco Field. Tigers won 2 out of 3 in that series. And a prime RBI opportunity here for Miguel Cabrera. And the lefty staying away from him. 3-0 now. There's Marcus Thames waiting on deck. .3-0 on Cabrera. And there's ball 4. Nothing to hit for Miguel. So the first 3 Tigers have reached.
Let's take a look at the Mariners defense behind Olson in the ball game tonight, presented by Honda, Bloomfield, and Gutierrez. He can cover some ground in center field. You know, Ichiro is one of the best outfielders in all of baseball. He's in right. They have a new left side of their infield with Hanahan and Cedena. Lopez on the right side along with Brandon, and Jojima behind the plate throws the ball very well. We talk about Laird, but Jojima does a very nice job himself at throwing the ball down to second.
Yeah, he's at about 50%. Hanahan, the third baseman, a former Tiger, of course. Here's Thames.
And Hanahan also a former Athletic, and you know, you and I talk quite often how it's very important when you're playing the game at this level or in AAA to sort of impress the people that are watching you. And last year, Don Wakamatsu was the bench coach in Oakland, and Ty Van Burkleo was their hitting coach. And apparently they liked something in Hanahan because they got him out of the minor leagues. Now he's back in the big leagues playing third base for Seattle.
Well, speaking of Wakamatsu, he's coming to the mound now. And we'll take this opportunity to remind you tonight's game is available in crystal clear, stunning high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It's sponsored by Comcast. So the Tigers not only have scored a run here in the first, they are threatening. And Wakamatsu, the manager, coming out and having a lengthy chat with Garrett Olson.
And Marcus, you would think would get a pretty good pitch to hit right here. Olson has missed on 5 straight fastballs, 4 of which to Cabrera. And it really looked like he wanted no part of Cabrera. But we'll see if Marcus gets that fastball that he should be looking for here, 1-0.
Missed outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Olson in his last start allowed 7 base runners in the first 2 innings, and he's already down that path here again tonight. The first 3 have reached against him. And Thames sitting pretty here now, 2-0. Garrett Olson just seems a little bit out of sorts right now. Here are the numbers. Thursday, losing to the Indians, 2 2/3 innings, walked 3.
Their entire team played a bad game that Thursday in Cleveland. They made 4 errors, so he didn't get much help.
He drops in a 2-0 breaking ball for strike 1.
But they dropped that game on Thursday in Cleveland, then came back to win the next 3.
And Seattle coming into play tonight at 49-43. Outside, 3-1.
He's not going to stay in this game very long anyway if he decides to not throw any fastballs inside. And he's been a little reluctant in throwing a fastball inside, as we could look at Rick Adair, their pitching coach, who has done an outstanding job with this staff.
Marcus pops it up foul, back out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Thames.
Jojima did set up that sign inside, but it was a breaking ball on the 3-1 pitch to Marcus.
Maglio waiting on deck. Still nobody out here in the Tigers' first. It is a 1-1 ball game. Lined and foul. He yanked it down the left field line. 3-2. Marcus 4 out of 10 in that series against the Yankees. Batting a solid .277 coming into play tonight. Power numbers have been where the Tigers have expected them to. 10 homers. Missed a lot of time early on the DL. And he lost him. Ball 4. That's going to load the bases. Back-to-back walks after the double by Polanco. Now Maglio Ordonez. You look at the Central. The Tigers just a 1-game lead over Chicago coming into play tonight. Minnesota lost a huge lead last night in their game, and they're still 2.5 outs. Now Ordonez with the bases full. Ball 1. Big spot here for Maglio, who in his career has hit 6 grand slams. He has 11 lifetime homers against Seattle. Trying to break this one open early. Strike call. Maglio shakes his head a bit. 1-1. Tipped at home plate. And now Ordonez behind the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Maglio getting the start tonight with the lefty Olson on the mound in a platoon situation these days with Clete Thomas. And Olson right now desperate for a ground ball. And that one just missed. 2-2. Looks like their bullpen is working already. Jakubowskis warming up. He was in the rotation the last time the Tigers were in Seattle early in the year. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a high drive into deep left field. Langerhans to the wall. It's a grand slam. Maglio Ordonez has busted this one open early. And boy, did he need that. Fifth home run of the year for Maglio. This one was a big one.
Our Lincoln Mercury Exmo replay shows us that Maglio pulled his hands in nicely on a breaking ball from Olson and got underneath it with 2 strikes and hit himself a grand slam.
And a 5-1 Tigers lead. So Ordonez, who's had a miserable year by his standards, coming up with his 7th career grand slam. That is the 3rd Tigers hit. And still nobody out in the inning. The first 5 Tigers have reached. There's a strike called on Rayburn.
Maybe that's the way that Olson pitches. But he has not thrown one fastball inside to Tigers hitters here in the first. There's been a couple of breaking balls he's gone inside with, but no fastballs. Even that last pitch there appeared to be a changeup that froze Rayburn, but at least it was on the inner third. Ty Van Berkeley, the bench coach, there chatting with Wakamatsu, the skipper. There you go.
He must have been listening.
Well, he has to do it. I mean, it's easy to say when a guy's not touching 90 miles an hour, he shouldn't pitch inside. But if you do not pitch inside and you're throwing 88, 89 all night long, you're going to get beat up, as he has gotten beat up here in the first inning.
The 2-2 pitch is fouled away again. Tigers really are a different offensive ball club at home, and we've talked about some of the numbers, but a few of them are really striking.
Well, look at the bottom note. The on-base percentage is just at 3. The batting average, 243 on the road, 276 here. And they're scoring at least 1.5 more runs at Comerica Park.
5-1, Tigers lead in the grand slam home run by Maglio Ordonez. Brandon Inge waiting on deck. Olson's 3-2. Fouled away. Still haven't been able to get anybody out here. Leadoff single, a double scored a run, 2 walks, and then the granny.
He can't even get anybody to swing and miss.
No, not at all.
Pretty much every swing the Tigers have taken, they've either put the ball in play or they fouled it off.
High drive, left field. That ball is hooking. To the corner it goes, and it is fouled. Rayburn just missed hitting one out. That would have been back-to-back homers. It went foul by a little bit of a margin, but boy, that thing was hugging the line all the way down. 3-2. What's going on here? Here comes Jim Leland out, talking with third base umpire Paul Schreiber. So is Gene Lamont. By the way, the Tigers lead the American League with 6 grand slams with their one here tonight. And Leland chatting with Schreiber now. And I don't know if they're looking at that ball hit down the line. They cannot request a video review of it, but I think Leland might be asking the third base umpire to get some help.
That's exactly what he was doing, because Joe West, now who is a crew chief, he clearly saw that the ball was foul, and that's what he indicated to Jim, and now Jim is talking to Country Joe West, who, by the way, has a couple CDs out.
Are they country?
Yeah, they're country.
I like how you just fit that in here. By the way, there's a couple of CDs out. I mean, it's well fouled. I mean, it's not one of those ones that might have crossed above the foul pole. That might have been a little bit more difficult to tell. But that was clearly a foul ball.
Well, where was it? Was it here at Comerica Park where Cabrera hit a home run, or was it on the road and Jim did not come out? And he said to himself at that time, I blew that. Yeah. I wish I had come out to at least question why the ball was not a home run. And Cabrera is one home run shy because of that. And if you get a look at looking down the third baseline after this next pitch here by Olson, which may be his last.
Hit hard to third. Hanahan gobbles it up.
Gene Lamont is looking down into that flagpole, and it's hard for him to see. It's sunny down there. It's almost like what the left fielder's looking at from home plate. It's tough to tell whether the ball is fair or foul. So apparently he must have been the one that had questioned the call, and that's why Jim came out.
The Cabrera one you're talking about was one that he hit over the yellow line. It bounced off the railing above the right field fence and then back on the field. They called it a double. And there's that railing. It should have been a home run. And you're right. Jim did not argue that. And it cost Cabrera a homer. Or at least a review of it.
So we will never, ever see Jim not come out on a close home run.
He'll probably be out in the rest of it. Brandon Inge with one out. Tigers lead 5-1. Inge at 260 is batting in the 7 slot here tonight. And he pulls this one to left. Base hit. So the Tigers get their 4th hit, and they're going to send the 8th man to bat in this inning now, Gerald Blair. Tigers sure can rake left-handed pitching.
They do. Yeah, they've got a lot of nice right-handed bats. As a matter of fact, all 5 of those guys on that list are right-handed. And they have punished right-handed hitters not only this year, but in their careers, really.
Laird at 238. Takes one to the outside corner, a strike. Olson has recorded just 1 out in this inning, and that was the sharp ground ball hit by Rayburn. 4 Tigers hits. Grand slam home run by Ordonez. And that's lifted in the air. Right side of the infield for Jose Lopez. 2 gone. Garrett Olson has spent some time in the bullpen and in the rotation, and here are his splits.
There are some that travel with this Mariners party that believe that sooner or later he's going to end up in their bullpen. Wakamatsu would like to have a left-hander out there, which he does not at this current time. It's always nice to have at least one left-hander in the bullpen.
Adam Everett with 2 outs. Everett at 254. Was hitless in the series against the New York Yankees. And a strike called 1-1. Garrett Olson was traded twice this offseason. First, Baltimore dealt him to the Cubs. And then the Cubs dealt him to Seattle before the season even started. Fouled away. 1-2 on Adam. Well, there you go. The Tigers in their last series against the Yankees scored 5 runs in 3 games. And Wood McClendon's offense has put up a 5 spot in the first inning at home here tonight. Low, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. That's in the air to center field. Franklin Gutierrez to retire the side. Tigers sent a total of 9 men to the plate. They scored 5 times. The key blow, the grand slam by Maglio. Our opinion with our text poll question. Who do you think has been the best American League outfielder this decade? Ichiro, Maglio, Vladimir, or Manny Ramirez? To vote, text A, B, C, or D to FSDET. That's 37338. Pick one of those four. And who do you think has been the best American League outfielder this decade?
I would vote C.
I forgot. Who was that?
That would be Manny Ramirez.
Yeah. He put up a lot of big numbers.
But the guy they have here is awfully special. Scoring runs, stealing bases, winning Gold Gloves, all-star teams. You name it, Ichiro does it.
Ryan Langerhans leading it off. Four very good players, no question about that. Final totals coming up after the game on Tigers Live. Porcello has a strikeout. One gone.
Good changeup there by Porcello.
Here are those four guys again, and these are their American League numbers.
And the reason is obvious why we have the hits there for Ichiro, because he doesn't hit for the kind of power that the other guys have hit for in the decade.
Manny, 312 home runs in the American League with both Cleveland and Boston. Ichiro, quite a player. In fact, he led off the game with a double, stole a base, and scored a run. Strike one on Kenji Jojima.
Looks like Porcello going to use a few changeups tonight against some of these left-handed bats. He threw a dandy there to Langerhans to strike him out. "16 days in between starts for the rookie. Right-hander who has struggled a little bit in his last couple of starts before he was shut down right before the All-Star break.
You talk about the simulated game that he pitched in, which basically is game type conditions where they bring some live hitters up to the plate, no cage or anything, and you actually kind of simulate pitching a game. You'll sit down for a little while and go out and pitch another half inning and sit down. But it's really not quite the same as game competition. Nothing really is.
No.
That's about as close as you can get. Inge with the hops not quite big enough that time to pull down that ground ball from Jojima. One out single.
Ball looked like it hit right off the plate. One bounce. And no shot for Inge. When Porcello is right, he will get a lot of ground balls. He is a ground ball machine when that good power sinker is working at the bottom of the strike zone.
Jack Hanahan, the batter. I'm talking about the fact the M's are without Mr. Beltre, their third baseman. Very good bat, very good glove. They have Hanahan playing there right now. They have a couple of guys on the DL. There's your ground ball toward the second baseman, Polanco. There's one. Safe at first base. Fielder's choice, two gone. Andy Chavez also on the DL for Seattle, and so is Carlos Silva.
Andy Chavez is playing superior baseball for them when the Tigers were in Seattle at the beginning of the year. He was playing really good baseball. That's a big loss for them.
2 outs for Ronnie Cedeno. Cedeno, the shortstop. This is his 22nd consecutive start at short. They dealt away Yuniesky Betancourt earlier this year. And Cedeno has responded with a 7-game hit streak.
His batting average just 185, but those numbers pretty much were where he was platooning, getting a chance to play once a week. And now that he's an everyday player, the batting average will go up.
Hit slowly toward third. Inge will have to barehand it. No play. And he wisely holds on to it. Infield single for Ronnie Cedeno.
When you're hitting 185, you'll take all those you can get.
It's going to break up the top of the order now. Ichiro. That is the 4th hit for Seattle, so each team with 4 hits. Ichiro doubled to start the game, stole third base, and then eventually scored with the infield drawn in. Of the 21 stolen bases that Ichiro has, 9 of them have been a steal of third. So it's a situation when not only when he gets on first base, but even second base, you still have to keep an eye on. Cued foul off the end of the bat, third base side, 0-1.
The one thing that Ichiro is able to do probably better than anybody else, he's got some moving parts as far as his lower half is concerned, but the head stays still and doesn't move. And his hand-eye coordination is off the charts. You can move as much as you want to move, and you can do whatever you want to do while the ball's on its way. But if your head stays still and you get to a nice balance point, which allows you to get some bat speed, you can put up some base hits and get a lot of hits. Maybe not 200 a year, but you can get a few. To get 200 a year, you got to have some superior talent, which Ichiro has.
Well, he's on pace for 236 hits this year, and he even missed 9 games at the start of the year, began the year on the DL. So year after year, he is over 200 hits. There's the strike call, 2-2.
That's almost where you have to pitch him. You almost have to pitch him inside with good, firm fastballs.
At least 206 hits each season. And it's been 9 years now in the big leagues for Ichiro, 9 straight All-Star games. So every year that he's been in the big leagues, he has played in the All-Star game.
In my opinion, Ichiro is going to end up in Cooperstown.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Look out. Back into the Tigers' dugout. That'll scatter him a bit.
And we're talking about a guy that didn't come stateside till he was 27, 28 years old.
Man, Slake. And apparently almost got hit by that one. Well, that's what makes it really incredible. I mean, right now, Ichiro has better than 1,900 hits in a little under 9 seasons. Bouncing ball, and it's flagged by Porcello. Nicely done to close out the threat. Ichiro retired, nothing doing for Seattle. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tires. And a gorgeous night for baseball here. Nice crowd For the Tigers and Mariners, game 1 of the series, Curtis Granderson looks at a strike as he begins things here in the second. The Tigers send 9 men to the plate in the first inning. Curtis got it started with a base hit off Garrett Olson. That's lifted in the air to center. Ranging right is Gutierrez. 1 out. Well, that's a much better start for Olson here in the second. It took him a while to record his first out back in the first inning. There's Placido Polanco. RBI double in the first. Polanco came in a .282 career hitter against the Seattle Mariners. And as we highlighted at the top of the show, this M's team leading the league in pitching, yet the Tigers came out and scored a 5 spot in the bottom of the first. Here's the 2-0. Drilled in the air, deep in left field, way back. Langer hands to the wall and gone. A line drive home run for Placido Polanco.
Polanco has already had 2 outstanding at-bats in this game. His first time up, he got what looked like a changeup at the top of the strike zone. He ripped that ball into right center field for a double and an RBI. This time, Olson tries to crowd him with a fastball, 2 balls, no strikes. And the ball just kind of leaks right back over the heart of the plate, and it was up again, and Polanco able to hit it out of here. So a couple of really nice at-bats so far tonight by Polanco.
And the Tigers have a 6-1 lead. Their second home run of the night. The other, the grand slam by Maglio Ordonez. Cabrera had a walk and scored a run in the first. It's amazing how the Tigers bats come alive when they come back to Comerica Park. 6 runs already in this game. Polanco's home run number 7, RBI 43. The hook misses high and away, and now it's 3-1. Thames waiting on deck. I wonder for guys like Cabrera, Rod, that obviously get pitched around a lot, especially in this Tigers lineup. He is certainly the kingpin in the middle of their lineup. You take your walks, but if you're a guy that's used to driving in runs, can you lose your patience?
Well, it's a fine line between being patient and also being somewhat aggressive when you've got runners in scoring position. I think Cabrera has, when he's had a chance to, and there's been runners in scoring position, he's tried to expand his strike zone a little bit, but when you start to do that, when you start to swing at bad pitches and you get yourself out. But there are certain times when you're a big bat like Cabrera where you feel like you've got to expand the strike zone to drive in some runs to help your club win a game.
Well, Cabrera has just walked for the second time. This will be the second visit for Olson, and this time he's going to be taken out of the game. So as the Mariners go to the bullpen, we'll step aside. Wallside Windows pitching change with the Tigers up 6-1.
$9 or 2 lower box seats for $49. The savings of $15. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Well, the Tigers leading in this one by a score of 6-1, and Marcus Thames strolling in with a runner on, a runner out. And a ball outside. Chris Jacobowskis is the new pitcher now for the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, 24th game now that he has been in. He comes in 5-6 with an earned run average approaching 5.5. Not an overpowering pitcher. Just 31 strikeouts and 68 innings pitched.
Uh-oh, to the track and to the wall. Not deep enough.
Right off the end of the bat.
Oh, Marcus gave it a ride.
A couple of more inches down on the label, and Marcus is trotting around the bases. Take a look at where he makes contact with this ball. Right on the outside part of the bat, which is the difference in him hitting the ball out, and a harmless fly ball at the warning track.
Here's Maglio Ordonez. Jacobowskis missing outside. 1-0 on Maglio, who slammed his way to home run number 5 back in the first inning. A grand slam, scoring 4 of the 5 the Tigers got in the first inning. Two and 0.
Yeah, Maglio is out this afternoon with several Tigers hitters. Taking some batting practice with the hitting coach, Lloyd McClendon. Guys trying to figure out some stuff. It gets to a point, if you're Lloyd, where you run out of things to say.
You do. True.
I mean, these guys have been doing it a long time at this level, and a lot of these guys have had a lot of success. You do prepare guys for the opposing starting pitcher on any given night, as he is giving the scouting report now on Jacobowskis. But, when you go in that batter's box, I mean, you got to somewhat put up the numbers that you put up in the past.
Well, and that's the bottom line. And as a hitting coach, all you can do is prepare your hitters as best as you can. I mean, there's no magic wand that you can take out there and get Maglio back to what he was doing a couple of years ago, even last year. Maybe tonight is the start of something. We'll see.
You take them out, you watch some video with them, and you hope they're watching some video of themselves. And especially when you have a team that's struggling offensively, you're going to have other guys in their ears as well, guys that are watching them play on a day-to-day basis. You, as a hitting instructor, you're just hoping something clicks.
Well, for Maglio, a grand slam and a walk. That is the 4th walk now for Seattle pitching tonight. Ryan Rayburn is 0 for 1. Fouled away, 0-1. Rayburn, an opportunity to play in left tonight. He's hit 6 home runs this season. Jacobowskis spent 5 years playing independent baseball. Signed as a minor league free agent a couple of years ago by Seattle. 5 seasons of independent league baseball.
That's a good story.
High fly ball. Right center field and hit well. Gutierrez on the move. Still going back. Leaps. Can't hold on to it and bangs against the wall.
He's hurt.
2 runs are in. Rayburn will go to third. He's in standing up, and Franklin Gutierrez is still on the ground. He almost made a circus catch in right center.
He's hurt.
A triple for Rayburn, 2 RBIs, and the Tigers lead 8-1, and Gutierrez in some big pain right now.
That's too bad, too. Now, this wall is not given at all, and he's extended when he makes contact with it. Oh, my goodness. There's no padding out there either, partner.
And this appeared to be a direct hit. Boom, right there. He hit with both hands, the glove hand and the bare hand. That I don't know if untwisted or.
It was just fascinating that he was even able to get to it. He ran a long way to get there.
Elbow and shoulder. It looks like he's holding his elbow there. Yeah, and that ball was hit a ton the opposite way by Rayburn.
Gives you an idea of the range that Gutierrez has.
Ugh. Well, they've had some pretty significant injuries. Last thing they need is to have Gutierrez out. And it appeared that left elbow was what he first was trying to hold. But I think you hit the key point, Rod. There is no give at all in that wall out there. So he was getting no help. And he remains on his back on the warning track in right field. 2 runs in for the Tigers. Take another look at it to give you a sense of really how hard. This is real time again. We won't slow it down.
And bear in mind, he's running full speed.
Yeah, that gives you a better idea of how hard he hit the wall. When you slow it down, it doesn't look as bad. But boy, at full speed into a wall with no padding and no give. And Seattle teammates, all they can do is wait and hope. Tigers fans had a bird's eye view of that collision. And Gutierrez still on his back on the warning track.
They may have to get a stretcher out there for him.
Well, as they continue to look at Franklin Gutierrez, we'll step aside. We'll take a break, but the Tigers leading it 8-1. So we'll get the replacement. Vladimir Ballantine has checked into the game, and he will go to left. So Ballantine is in left. Langerhans will apparently move to center field. So there you have it. And Gutierrez finally making his way toward the dugout, getting a nice round of applause from the hometown fans here in Detroit.
Hey fans, join the Tigers in a healthy environment during Going Green weekend when the Tigers take on the White Sox this Friday through Sunday. On Saturday, the first 10,000 fans receive a Going Green shopping bag. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. That's too bad. Gutierrez was having a sensational year, hitting 290, hitting home runs, playing Gold Glove caliber center field. Let's just hope that he's able to shake out of this rather quickly for Seattle's sake.
Well, here is Inge now with a man at third base. The triple by Rayburn scored 2 more to make it 8-1 Detroit. And now with 2 outs, Inge trying to drive in a run. Ryan picking up RBIs 24 and 25. The 0-1. Brandon hits a ground ball to third. Right at Hanahan. That'll take care of the side, but the Tigers scored 3 more runs. And at the end of 2, it's 8-1.
Polanco also went shopping in the gap the other way for a double. And then it was Maglio after a couple of walks to Cabrera and also Marcus Timms. He found the seats and left for a grand salami.
Then in the second, Placido Polanco. Second hit of the game. A line drive home run, his 7th of the year. Rayburn goes to the gap in right center. Gutierrez was injured on the triple, scoring 2 more, and that's where we are as we go to the third. And a quick fly ball to the right fielder Ordonez, and Branyan is out number 1. We'll bring up Jose Lopez. So Porcello is the recipient of all this offense tonight. 8 runs on 6 hits.
He'll take it, no doubt about that.
Verlander and Jackson are pretty jealous right now. The way they pitched in New York, the Tigers couldn't get him any runs. Boy, did they do some outstanding work against the Yankees. There is strike 1 on Jose Lopez. RBI single back in the first against a drawn-in infield. Seattle at one time led 1-0. 3 batters into the game, as a matter of fact. A little bit low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lopez now an 8-game hitting streak. Pulled fair inside the bag at third. This might be extra bases. Over there to cut it off is Rayburn. Lopez chugging towards second, and he is in easily with a stand-up double. This guy can just flat out hit.
Well, usually the best hitter on your club is batting third. There was a time when Ken Griffey Jr. would be occupying that spot for the Seattle Mariners, but this youngster Lopez, who was an all-star last year, is having a tremendous season offensively for the Seattle Mariners.
So when you combine the numbers of the two second basemen tonight, Polanco and Lopez, they're 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Country Joe now is headed back toward the dugout. What's going on here? Talking to security. Or perhaps trying to sell his CDs. There might be some interest. You never know. Here's a guy that tried to grab the baseball down the left field line.
They're going to kick him out, are they?
I don't know. Oh, there he is. I guess not. Here's Griffey. Ken Griffey Jr. batting only .215 coming in. Into shallow center. Randy can't get there. It'll roll off his glove. Holding at third is Lopez. I think Randy took a step back, and then by the time he recovered, it was too late.
Took more than one step back. Took a couple of steps back. That ball hit right off the end of the bat. And a lot of times as an outfielder you get fooled because Griffey does have some power. And he's hit a lot of home runs in his career. And when you see the ball in the air coming in your direction, you just think that it's going to carry at least all the way on the fly. But that wasn't the case on that last one.
There's Vladimir Valentin getting his first at bat, and Porcello moves him off the plate. Gerald Laird quickly takes an opportunity to run out to the mound.
And probably to tell Porcello not to overthrow the breaking ball. He overthrew that breaking ball.
Valentin replaced Gutierrez, who was taken out of the game after making a leaping attempt on the Rayburn triple up against the wall in right center. Gutierrez hit it hard and went down.
On occasion, it is tough for a young pitcher, and Porcello would fall into that category, into continuing to pitch your game when you've got a big lead.
That's in the shallow right. This might be trouble. Maglio can't get there. It'll drop in, a base hit. That'll drive in a run.
And so I'm sure that Laird has gone out to reinforce to Porcello, stay with your game plan. I know you've got a 6-run lead, but you have to continue to use all of your pitches. Just don't lay fastballs in there to the Seattle Mariners club. And this much we do know about Seattle. Under Wakamatsu, they will not quit.
Well, here is Ryan Langerhans with 2 men on, only 1 out. Tried to check it, but he went. Seattle batting .261 as a club. Tigers .257 as a team.
I was looking at some other numbers on Seattle. They come in dead last in defense this year. So how well must they be pitching? If you've got the worst defensive club in the American League and the best pitching team, you know their pitchers are just flat out getting it done.
They would have to be.
They've committed 74 errors, which is number 1 in the American League. That usually doesn't go hand in hand like that.
Well, that'll lead at least to some unearned runs. Get a drop on that pitch. Second strikeout. But this is a Seattle team that has won 49 games coming in.
Yeah.
So they have not let that defense affect them apparently all that much. There's Jojima. Both of these strikeouts for Porcello were against Langerhans.
They've won a lot of close games, have Seattle. And when you don't have tremendous offensive production, and you've got guys that are pitching and catching to some degree, and you're going to play a lot of close games. They have done that. A lot of wins, 3 runs or less this year for their ball club. And they're playing better baseball on the road this year than they did last year.
In the air toward right field, Maglio coming over. Still coming. And that'll retire the side. They get a run back. Tigers late 2.5. 8-2 Tigers. Runs the first 3 in the second, and who knows how many more to come. Gerald Laird leads it off, swings the first pitch, and skies it to shallow right. Ichiro, one gone. Well, it's that time of night again. Batting stance guy is back, and it's time for Guess the Stance, everybody. Check out this stance. See if you can name the big leaguer he's imitating. Stay tuned to Tigers Live postgame for the answer. It's a pretty good imitation.
Yes, it was.
You got that one, don't you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Answer coming up on Tigers Live. Adam Everett looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Everett flying to center field. He was back in the first. Closed out that inning. On the outside corner, strike one. Good breaking ball that drops in. 1-2. We're talking about Jakubowski's pitching in the independent leagues, the American Association, when he was signed in June of 07. That has popped up. Shallow center. The second baseman Lopez back. 2 gone. It's one thing to be pitching in independent baseball for maybe a year, 2 years, and all of a sudden the club signs you. This guy was there for almost 5 years.
Which speaks volumes to his perseverance. And obviously there's some character and work ethic that goes along with that as well. And it only takes one of those scouts to see you and like you and give you a chance.
Here's Granderson with 2 outs. Breaking ball, strike one.
And he appears to have a nice little breaking ball. Some real good tilt to it.
Jakubowskis played college ball at Oklahoma. He didn't pitch all that much there. He was mostly a first baseman and an outfielder. Another good breaking ball.
That ball is going from the waist of Granderson all the way to the shoe tops.
Fouled back out of play. Well, his numbers have been better out of the bullpen. Jakubowskis with a 3.58 ERA in relief. It was over 6.5 in the rotation. Another hook. This time Grandy waits on it, slaps it to center. It's his second hit.
And Granderson was one of those Tigers that was out taking some early batting practice today. And apparently by his first 3 at-bats today, he is really concentrating on hitting the ball up the middle and the other way. That's his second hit today, up the middle. And that's just a really nice job of waiting on that breaking ball. And also, Jakubowski had already shown him the breaking ball twice in that at-bat. So if you're Granderson, you kind of know what that pitch is going to do once you get it the third time around. So that's just a good at-bat by Granderson. And maybe one too many curveballs by Jakubowski.
He kind of tipped his hand early in that at-bat.
He did.
0-1 on Polanco. Placido a double and a homer. What a night it's been for him so far.
Well, Granderson's going to steal 30 bases this year. He needs to be running in situations like this. Get a nice spread, 6 runs. But it's early. It's only the third inning. It's not too early to run. But we did tell you that Jojima can throw.
There's another breaking ball in there. It's funny because Leland was talking about that very thing before the game today, saying, you know, against American League teams, or when you play in the American League, what is a big enough lead? You know, how late in the game is it too late to run? Certainly at this point, it's way too early to think that you're rubbing it in. There's a lot of baseball to be played. That's lifted toward right field. Ichiro is there. That's going to be that for the Tigers. They get a 2-out hit, strand a man. We played 3. And that's a promise. AT&T, your world delivered. And by GMC, we are professional grade. Back here in the Motor City, Mr. Illich, checking out his ball club tonight. And he's got to love what he is seeing this evening. The bats have come alive. It's 8-2. And Rick Porcello back to the hill. And he's facing Jack Hanahan to lead things off. Then Cedeno and then Ichiro. Tigers lead it by 6. Of course, a grand slam tonight by Maglio Ordonez helped. Hanahan was picked up in a trade with Oakland back on July the 11th. Hasn't been with Seattle all that long. He was hitting just 193 in the minor leagues this year.
Hanahan had some spurts of where he had some success when he was wearing that Oakland uniform. And as I said earlier, Wakamatsu, the manager of Seattle, was on that Oakland staff last year. And Ty Van Berkeley was his hitting coach. So I'm sure when the Adrian Beltre went down and they had a need to fill at that third base position, he was a guy that was not going to be too costly for them. And Oakland was willing to give him to Seattle.
Driven in the air, right field, and hit well. Maglio going back to the track, to the wall, and that ball's out of here.
That's what Wakamatsu and Van Berkeley saw some of last year.
Hanahan with his second home run as a Mariner this year. It's a solo shot, and Seattle trying to climb back into this one. It's 8-3. His 10th RBI.
Not sure exactly what pitch that was, but it was up. That much I do know.
The funny thing about this game is that Seattle has now actually out-hit the Tigers 8-7, but it's Detroit leading at 8-3. Hanahan goes deep. Ronnie Cedeno, the batter. Right at the knees. 1-1 on Cedeno.
What a difference a year makes. About this time last year, the Mariners were raving about their shortstop, Unieski Betancourt.
Everett's going to make this play.
And all of a sudden, a year later, Betancourt gets traded to the Kansas City Royals, and Cedeno now their everyday shortstop.
How's that happen?
I guess it's a difference in regimes. You get a new manager, new general manager, and they may and probably weren't as fond of Betancourt as that last regime was.
Well, he had 51 RBIs last year, 67 the year before that. And they shipped him out to KC.
And we had heard that he was going to be a Gold Glove defender. He may still be.
Here's Ichiro. Ball one. Doubled, stole a base, scored a run in the first. He leads the American League with 42 multiple hit games. That's how you lead the league in hitting. You don't have too many 1-for-4s.
It really just kind of validates how good Joe Mauer is. For Joe Mauer to win a couple of Gold Gloves, a couple of batting titles, while Ichiro is leading off and getting as many hits as he does every year, and in that batting race conversation.
Well, and you often talk about how the advantage Ichiro has is his ability to run out infield hits. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. 2 gone, 3 strikeouts for Porcello. It's Aflac time. And the Ducks would like to know this evening. On this date in 1945, the Tigers and A's played the longest game in Tigers history. How many innings did it last? This date in 1945, Tigers and A's. How many innings did that game last? Answer coming up in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Russell Branyan, 0 for 2. Branyan's been around a long time, and he is having one heck of a year. 23 home runs, just one shy of his career high.
He has worn a lot of different uniforms as well because of his power potential.
Branyan last year was playing in Milwaukee. 1-1. Well, you look at his typical numbers, and then this season.
He's an everyday player this year, whereas years past he was not an everyday player. There's a difference when you give a guy consistent at bats on a daily basis, especially a guy like Branyan that has that kind of power, true power. Things have clicked for him this year.
Pulled to the right side, right at Cabrera. Porcello will cover. Branyan is out. So they get a run back on the home run by Hanahan. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. State in 1945, the Tigers and A's played the longest game in Tigers history. How many innings did it last? The Duck says 24. It's ended in an eventual 1-1 tie. Did you know in that game that Les Mueller pitched 19 2/3 innings for the Tigers in that game?
How many?
I said 19 2/3. Cabrera has a base hit.
Are you kidding?
Now, what did old Les's arm feel like after that game?
He's probably ready to go the next day.
Yeah. Go to the doctor, maybe. It took 4 hours, 48 minutes to play that game. How about that? Good old Les. So Cabrera's on base for the third time. Here is Marcus Thames. Fly ball and a walk. Tigers now have 8 hits. Lead at 8-3 as we play in the fourth. Wave and a miss. Jacobowskis came on in the second in relief for the starter Garrett Olson, who lasted just an inning and a third tonight. Marcus steps out on Jacobowskis. That hit for Cabrera gives him 16 straight in terms of hitting streak, longest of his career. Cabby tonight with 2 walks and a single. The 0-1. That big looping breaking ball. It gets away from Jojima, and Cabrera able to stroll down to second base. Wild pitch advances the runner.
Pretty good recognition as well by Cabrera as soon as he saw the ball bounce. And he was off and running, and Jojima couldn't find it initially. And when he found it, too late.
Jacobowskis throws a lot of breaking balls.
That he does. He likes that pitch. And one of these Tigers is going to go up there and sit on one, and when he hangs it, they're going to hit it where the grass doesn't grow. Marcus has that ability.
Straight back. 3-2. Well, Thames has always wanted an opportunity to play every day, and he has finally, I think, for the first time in a while, gotten it, literally playing every day, batting in the cleanup slot. Doesn't matter who's out there for the opposing team. He has 23 RBIs, 24 is standing at second base right now, and he skies one in the air to left. Hit well, but Ballantine appears to have room. Right in front of the wall.
He got a hanging breaking ball on a 3-2 pitch, and he just missed it. That is the second home run Marcus has just missed today. 3-2. You're looking for a fastball, but somehow in the back of your mind you have an idea you're going to get a breaking ball. Marcus got it and just missed it. I mean, it's one thing to throw a 3-2 real good breaking ball. It's another thing to hang that breaking ball as he did there. A lot of times those 3-2 hanging breaking balls get hit out of the ballpark.
Maglio takes the ball. Grand slam in the first, a walk in the second.
But back to what you were saying about Marcus and getting an opportunity to play every day, albeit as a DH, which does not seem to bother him as it does some other players. He is welcoming this opportunity and somewhat taking full advantage of it.
I would say so. When we look at the numbers, Thames came in hitting .341 over his last 11, and you bring up a good point about being a designated hitter, and I think most guys, or not too many guys, like that type of duty. And Marcus, if he had his brothers, would certainly be playing in the outfield.
He is a little upset with himself right now, however, because he knows that he has just missed hitting a couple of balls out of this yard today. But when the club was struggling to score some runs in St. Louis, and Leland took Cabrera, he put him in that 3 spot, and he put Marcus right behind him, and he hasn't moved. We're talking about 3 weeks ago.
Checked it, strike call. 2-2 on Ordonez. Still Mags fans in attendance despite his struggles this year. The grand slam, by the way, now gives him 32 RBIs for the season. Fought one off and rolls it right back to the mound. So Cabrera holds, 2 gone.
This is a perfect example of possibly looking for a breaking ball because Jakubowski has thrown so many, and then you get a fastball and you can't hold up on it. And Maglio really had no intention at swinging at this ball, and he saw fastball, may have been strike 3, and he still tries to get to it. But Maglio was probably looking for a breaking ball.
Here's Ryan Rayburn, tripled in 2 back in the 2nd. 0-1. Ryan's fly ball to the wall in right center field resulted in Gutierrez banging into the wall and leaving the game. We haven't received any official word on Franklin. Hopefully nothing too serious. The 0-1 pitch. Bounce to the left side. Tough hop for Hanahan. Side retired. Tigers going to lead off hits. Strand a man. We go to the 5th inning. It is 8-3 Detroit.
Fans, they love their Tigers, and, they love coming to the ballpark to see us not only play but to win. That's almost like a 10th man out there, and that kind of, gets you going a little bit. And, anytime you can play at home, and we have more games at home in the second half than on the road, that's going to hopefully be huge for us.
The thoughts of Adam Everett and the Tigers returning home for this current homestand where they have played a lot better, and the Tigers jumped out to a big lead in this one. They've had some good crowds here this year. Tigers coming into play 27-13 at home. And the home crowd enjoying this one tonight. Porcello has given up 3 runs through 4, but plenty of offense supporting him tonight. Jose Lopez leads it off, then Ken Griffey Jr. and Vladimir Valentin. He's not been able to get Lopez tonight a single, a double, an RBI, and a run scored for the Seattle second baseman. Fly ball, shallow right field. Maglio coming on. 1 gone. Well, Saturday afternoons were made for baseball, and this week the Tigers are featured when they host Jermaine Dye and the Chicago White Sox as part of a big weekend series. Coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 4 p.m. on your local Fox station. What a series that is going to be. Don't forget there's a doubleheader on Friday between those two teams. That'll make it a 4-game set.
Yeah, they probably just got back their best offensive player of a season ago as well. Did the White Sox, Carlos Quentin. He was activated before their ball game yesterday.
A huge part of their offense.
Oh, that's the equivalent of going out and acquiring any kind of bat that you could envision going out and trying to acquire.
Oh, Porcello taking care of Griffey on 3 pitches. That's his 4th strikeout. Well, it certainly has gotten a lot tighter in the Central, hasn't it? Chicago came in a game back. Minnesota 2.5 back.
It was about a month ago we were in Chicago, and Ozzie Guillen, also Kenny Williams, the general manager, they were talking about possibly a fire sale. If they didn't start playing a little bit better baseball, they were going to break up the club.
You think they're still thinking of doing that?
No.
I don't think so either.
Knowing Kenny Williams, I would not be shocked if Roy Halladay did not end up in Chicago. He has done those kinds of things in his tenure as a general manager.
Porcello missing inside to Ballantine. Chicago playing Tampa tonight. Jeff Neiman on the hill for Tampa Bay, and Chicago in a 0-0 tie. Clayton Richard going for Chicago. Keep our eyes on that one. How about that Minnesota game last night? Oakland beat them 14-13.
Minnesota blew a 10-run lead.
Amazing. There's a walk to Ballantine.
What do you think Halladay will end up at? Anybody's guess at this point?
I don't know, but it's going to cost a pretty penny. I know Philadelphia's name has come up quite a bit. The Dodgers have come up quite a bit.
Apparently he was offered to the New York Mets, but the Mets felt like the price tag was way too high. And they were asking for a ready starting pitcher, a ready bullpen guy, and 2 premium prospects. The Toronto Blue Jays were asking for Halladay.
Do you think they'll get that?
I think some team is going to give up a whole lot for him if they feel like they're in the hunt. He's a difference maker.
He is.
He's a guy that will clearly put you over the hump for a team that needs pitching.
'83 pitches for Porcello. We are now getting word on Franklin Gutierrez. A left elbow contusion and a left knee contusion. So he bruised up his elbow and his knee. X-rays were negative. Good news for Seattle. That's hit a ton to left field. Way back. Rayburn to the wall, and it's gone.
This is a game all of a sudden.
Ryan Langerhans, who in his first 2 at-bats struck out against Porcello, hits a 2-run bomb, and it is a game indeed. That is the second home run of the night for Seattle. 8-5 ball game.
And apparently there's a little bit of wind blowing out in that direction. Looked like a little 2-seam fastball that kind of stays up. And a really nice concentration by Langerhans, allowing that ball to get deep in the strike zone. A little uppercut swing. And it got out of here.
So now the once comfortable 8-1 Tigers lead has been shaved to 8-5. Kenji Jojima hits a ground ball left side. Inge had a little trouble with it. Miggy picks it at first base.
Looked like it got in the lights, but he stayed with it.
2 runs back on the homer. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, brought to you by Bell Tire. Superstores. Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. And by BP, help your car run younger for longer. Try BP gasoline with Invigorate. Back here at Comerica Park, downtown Detroit, on a gorgeous night for baseball. Tigers lead it by a score of 8-5. And it's funny, we talk about how these were two of the best pitching teams. In fact, the two best when you look at the numbers coming in. And we've had 13 runs on 17 hits between them. Jacobowskis goes to work now facing Brandon Inge. He's been in this game since the second when the Tigers knocked out the starter Garrett Olson. Inge is 1 for 2. He'll be followed by Laird and then Everett. 0-2 on Brandon. Brandon has gone out there really far from 100% in terms of his health. He's been bothered by some knees that have been banged up. Of course, he didn't have much of a break for the All-Star game because he went to the All-Star game.
You can kind of tell that he's a little banged up. He's kind of lost a step at third base the last couple of weeks. And he may not have his good legs underneath him while swinging these days as well. But Brandon said the only thing that's going to help is extended rest. And he's not going to get that right now.
No, nor does he really want it. I mean, he's a guy that just hates to come out of the lineup. And strike 3 is called. He didn't like that call. And he's out of there. 1 gone. Well, before the game, it was neat to see about 60 individuals were sworn in as American citizens by United States District Court Judge Nancy G. Edmonds before the game. And, of course, the Tigers gave out complimentary tickets to the new U.S. citizens and their families. So congratulations to those folks, new U.S. citizens.
Absolutely. Polanco last year was sworn in here at Comerica Park as a U.S. citizen.
That was a neat ceremony to watch. Was he in uniform? I think he was.
He was in uniform.
Yeah. Laird drills one down the left field line. It is hooking, and it will go foul. The Tigers have hit 2 home runs tonight, but they've had 2 by Thames go just about to the wall. That one by Laird goes just foul.
The fastball up, and he tomahawked that bad boy, but he had that hookage to it. And it hooked foul.
And it missed Arby's by that much. 1-2. We need 1 more homer for Arby's. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Yet another breaking ball. 2-2 on Gerald Laird. He's 0 for 2. He's reaching on that one. A little pop-up, shallow center. Langerhan's going to get there. Nice running play. 2 gone.
Langerhans started the game in left field. Gutierrez is in center. And he is showing that he's got some range in center as well. He ran a long way to get to that ball, but the ball did stay up quite a while. Of course, the Seattle Mariners may have one of the best center fielders of all time on their roster. He's not playing center field these days, but Ken Griffey Jr. Boy, could he go get him when he was a youngster.
One of the best players I've ever seen play. In fact, I may put him up there. I know A-Rod's a great player, and I've seen Pujols play now. But I'll tell you what, for me, Ken Griffey Jr., what he was able to do when he was healthy in the earlier part of his career, for me, he's the best player I've seen.
I would not disagree with that.
In the air to right. Ichiro is there, and that is that. Tigers go 1-2-3, and we played 5 innings here at the ballpark. 8-5 Detroit. as we go to the top of the 6th inning here at Comerica Park. Porcello goes 5 innings, gives up 9 hits and 5 runs. He will lead, however, leading this game 8-5.
Well, I'm sure Porcello is not all that happy with the numbers, although, as you mentioned, the bottom line is he's leading with a win, but he did leave a few pitches up in the strike zone, and as a result, gave up 5 runs.
Fouteyni is out of the Detroit bullpen.
He has done a nice job in the 8 games that he has been in. The earned run average is very good. He has not walked a lot of batters. He's averaging a strikeout per inning. And quietly, he is finding himself pitching later and later in games for Jim Leyland against some of the good left-handed hitters.
First time Seattle's been able to see him, and it'll be Jack Hanahan to lead it off, and Ronnie Cedeno, and then Ichiro. Tigers had an 8-1 lead. It's now 8-5. Hanahan homered in his last at bat. Knee missing high and away. 1-1. Hanahan back in 06 played for the Tigers. The only time he got to the big leagues with Detroit. Played in just 3 games. Hammered high and deep into right field, way back and gone. And Seattle continues its assault. It is now 8-6.
Hanahan came into the month of July hitting just 133. But you would not know that by what he's done here today.
No, you would not. He's hit 2 home runs in this game.
That's a fastball that's right down the middle from that little low throw. 3/4 arm slot, and he knew it was gone as soon as he let it go. Tigers are going to have to turn that offense back on again because the Mariners, as we mentioned earlier, they don't quit under their new skipper, Don Wakamatsu.
No, they've had a terrific bullpen as well. And we've seen Jacob Auskus pretty much close the offense down since the 3rd. Hanahan hits his 2nd home run against his former team, and it's 8-6. Ball outside, 2-0 on Ronnie Cedeno.
Balls are flying out of Comerica Park here tonight.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the wind is starting to break up. Blowing out toward left this evening. And becoming more forceful. Two and one. Three home runs tonight for Seattle. 2 by Hanahan, 1 for Langerhans. Line drive, left field line. That's a fair ball. Base hit. Cruising over there is Rayburn, and Cedeno is aboard with a single. Tim Lamont in touch with the bullpen as we get you updated on our poll question tonight. We wanted to know who the best American League outfielder of this decade was and asked you to vote. And so far the voting looks like this. You are voting in a slim margin, Maglio over Ichiro, followed by Ramirez and Guerrero. Text A, B, C, or D to 37338. Final results post game on Tigers Live.
Apparently Manny not very popular amongst Tigers fans.
No, he's not.
Because the numbers don't lie.
No, they don't.
But they're entitled to their opinion for sure.
Yeah, Manny probably deserves a few more votes than he's getting. Here's Ichiro. Single for 3 in this game. Very, very tough guy to double up. Inge hasn't played on the cut of the grass, which has opened up the left side of the infield.
Even up the middle, Polanco and also Everett. I mean, they are playing in a couple of steps closer than they normally would as far as double play depth is concerned because of the speed of Ichiro. Speed clearly changes games.
And Ichiro has bounced into just 1 double play all season. Runner back. In fact, when you look at the numbers, Ichiro is the toughest to double up. Granderson is second on that list. So the 2 leadoff hitters for these 2 teams rarely bounce into double play. There's a bouncing ball to first. Cabrera spins to second. They get 1 there, and that's it. But it's an out. Now you got to be careful with Ichiro down there.
Well, hopefully with Nee being on the mound and being left-handed, he can slow him down a little bit. You're not going to stop him, but by being left-handed and having somewhat of an effective move, you can slow a guy like Ichiro down. And if he doesn't get a good jump, Laird will throw him out.
Here's Russell Branyan. 0 for 3. We've had 19 hits in this game. 11 of those belong to Seattle. The hook misses high. 1-0 on Branyan.
Branyan has been bothered by a little bit of a sore back lately, but still playing for his club.
Since Ichiro broke in back in 2001, only Juan Pierre and Carl Crawford have had more stolen bases than Ichiro. Foul away, 1-2.
I kind of like what Don Wakamatsu is doing here with Branyan, putting him in that number 2 spot, because a lot of times when Ichiro is on first base, pitchers tend to throw more fastballs to give the catcher a chance to throw him out. And that's where Branyan really feasts on the fastballs.
Wave and a miss. Down that time.
A couple of slow breaking balls early in the count. He comes back with a fastball. A little bit above the belt buckle with 2 strikes, and he swings and misses.
Here comes the skipper. Zach Miner had been warming up. You got Lopez due up. And it looks like Zach's coming into this game, so Fute-Ni gives up the baseball. And as he leaves, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Here in the top of the 6th inning, there are 2 outs, and Fute-Ni got a couple of batters. Did give up a homer to Hanahan, the single to Cedeno, but now Zach Miner is the new Tigers pitcher.
Well, what Zach needs to do in this situation is obviously you are aware of the fact that Ichiro's on first base, but you can't divide your attention between Ichiro and Lopez. If you do, Lopez will hurt you.
Minor appearing in his 26th game. His job is to get Lopez here. The tying run at the plate. 8-1 at one point. 8-6 now. Seattle continues to chip away. Ichiro and Cabrera with a little confab going down there. Lopez 2 for 3. Single, double, RBI, run scored for the second baseman for Seattle. He's also hit safely in his last 8. Minor missing low, 1-0. One for 9, Lopez against Zach. There's a strike on the inside corner. Minor since July the 5th has pitched only twice for the Tigers. He last pitched a couple of days ago on the 17th against the New York Yankees, but he hadn't seen a whole lot of time. Of course, the All-Star break was part of that stretch as well. But July 5th, he pitched against Minnesota, and then just a couple of times after that. Trying to get a big out here in the 6th inning. A run already in for Seattle. Now it's 3-1. On deck, Ken Griffey Jr. Into the glove for strike 2. Full count, which means Ichiro will be on the run. Full foul. 3-2 the count stays. And Jose Lopez. He's been a much better hitter on the road, and he's had 2 more hits tonight. His splits have been much better. .313 coming in away from Safeco Field. Laird trying to figure a way to get him out here. Runner going again on 3-2, and one more time he hooks the off-speed pitch foul.
You better be careful with that changeup, especially to a right-handed batter. And one that likes to pull the ball as Lopez does.
Well, June and July have been really good compared to April and May. The last 2 months has really pumped his average up. And it's grounded foul. So Ichiro's getting his workout in.
He's in good shape. Ichiro probably could play another 6-7 years with his body type and the kind of shape that he keeps his body in.
Full foul again. So Lopez can't straighten it out. Meanwhile, Ichiro all the way back to first.
They're not even breathing hard.
Nope.
Most guys be doubled over.
Meanwhile, Laird now going out to the mound. What an at bat this has turned into for Lopez. 10th pitch coming up in this at bat. Crowd trying to get behind Minor here to get this final out of the 6th. And again the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He finally takes care of him. Lopez is out, and so are the Mariners. They get a run, though, on the home run by Hanahan. Big strikeout ends the inning.
The second inning, Rayburn hitting one into the gap in right center field. Franklin Gutierrez playing center field. The ball hits his glove at the same time he hits the wall. And he's down for a while. But he gets up with a bruised left elbow, bruised left knee. So he's okay. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
He's day to day as we go to the bottom of the sixth. And the Tigers' lead is 2. Sean Kelly is the new pitcher for Seattle.
He comes in with a 2-run record earned run average, just a shade over 5. 13 strikeouts in 15 2/3 innings against 3 walks. But the league average is 323 against Kelly.
So the Tigers have Granderson leading it off, and he pops up the first pitch into center field. Langerhans coming in. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And the Tigers offense needs to figure out a way to try to scratch a couple more runs across against Seattle pitching here tonight if they're going to win this game.
Well, he got 5 in the first, 3 in the second, and nothing after that. The Seattle bullpen, meanwhile, sports an ERA of 3.49.
They've got some great arms in their bullpen as well. They've got some hard throwers down there.
Polanco showing bunt. Placido's had a good night, double and a homer. Tigers have hit 2 home runs. Maglio's grand slam got the Tigers off and running early in that first inning, but they have seen their lead dissipate. Slowly toward third. That is a fair ball, foul ball. And plate umpire Paul Nart signaled foul. 1-1. Tigers have 8 hits tonight. Don Wakamatsu's M's have 11. This Mariners bullpen has not allowed too many home runs either. 23, which is the fewest in the American League. Two balls, 1 strike. Two and 2. Sean Kelly made his big league debut back in April at Oakland. For Louisville, Kentucky. And it's fouled back out of play. Kelly went to Austin Peay University, graduated there in June of 2007, quickly started his pro career, and just a couple of years later, here he is in the big leagues. 13th round pick in 07. And he got him, strike 3. 2 gone.
Hey fans, everything you knew about fantasy football is about to change. Introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with more customizable features and new ways to play. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football.
Here's Cabrera.
We're getting pretty close to that fantasy football thing here, huh?
Yeah, we sure are. It's almost August.
Yeah, I saw there's some games that get played in early August, albeit exhibition.
I've got to get you hooked into fantasy football one of these years.
I got a lot of buddies that do it, that's for sure. And they have a blast doing it. I don't know.
Think of a creative name for your team.
You changed your name yet?
No.
You still got the same name?
What, 94 Detours?
Yeah.
Oh, that's driven to left field, and that ball is enough to get over the wall.
That one took a detour.
Over the wall and left, barely. And you know what I'm thinking?
No, you're not.
I'm thinking Arby's. 3 home runs for the Tigers tonight.
That was a 3-iron. Maybe even a 2-iron they got out of here.
I really didn't think that thing had enough height.
And you know what they say about 2-irons? The only one that can hit one of those is God. That thing was absolutely crushed. His lower half makes his swing. Legs are strong. Goodness gracious.
I think he's an absolute laser. His 19th and number 194 in his career. So Cabrera inching closer to 200 career home runs. So the Tigers finally get a run. It is their first run since getting 3 in the second. A little more breathing room. 3-run game. Marcus, we know, deserves to hit one out tonight. He's hit 2 to the wall and left. Kelly missing low.
And Kelly, one of those good firm right arms out of the Mariners bullpen, fastball in the mid-90s.
He's fallen behind Thames, 3-1. And there's ball 4, so Marcus gets his second walk tonight. And for Seattle pitching, that's 5 base on balls. See if the Tigers can keep it going here now with Maglio stepping in. Ball 1. Jacob Alskis came on in the second, pitched through the 5th, and he gives way to Kelly here in the 6th. Well, we'll get a confab on the hill. Kelly will get a visit. Rick Adair, their pitching coach. Kelly had Tommy John surgery while he was in college. That was in 2003. It's not going to be a long visit because Paul Nard is making his way out to the mound to break it up. He has fallen behind Ordonez, 2-0.
One thing is for certain, kids that do go through that Tommy John surgery in college, it really does not scare off the pro teams.
Well, I think because the surgery has become so commonplace these days, as Roy Corcoran warms up. Although not everybody, I guess, responds to it the same way. Ground ball to short. And that will get him out of the inning, but the Tigers get a huge run on the homer by Miguel Cabrera. A laser over the left field wall is 96. They've added one more in the home run by Miguel Cabrera. And so as we go to the 7th inning, we have some changes. Clete Thomas will replace Maglio in right field, and Bobby C. is the new Tigers pitcher.
Well, there's about 5 left-handers that Don Wakamatsu had in his lineup at the start of the day. Tonight against Porcello, we've already seen me, and now we see Bobby C. to try to slow down some of these left-handers.
And so C will face Ken Griffey Jr. to lead it off. Then Ballantine will follow. And Ryan Langerhans. Tigers lead it 9-6. Ken Griffey Jr. is 1 for 3. Waves right through the first pitch, 0-1.
Bobby C. has not allowed a run in his last 21 outings, spanning 14 2/3 innings. What a job he's been doing.
The 0-1 pitch.
Bobby talked about it's all about his arm slot. In spring training, he got together with Rick Knapp, and they found an arm slot which allows him to get that breaking ball away from left-handers. He's also throwing some good firm fastballs inside to some of the left-handers that are sitting on breaking balls. And the result of that has been tremendous.
Well, Bobby, there's no question it's been an integral part of the Tigers bullpen, especially deep in the game. And, you know, he has, until Knee arrived, really been the one left-hander that they've been able to use, not only for just specializing against lefties, but to come in and pitch one full inning, get some right-handers out. And he misses to Griffey again, 2-2. But he's a guy that Jim Leland liked from the get-go. And just quietly goes about his business.
I think when Jim initially took over the job in 06, he told some people quietly that he wanted to try to keep Bobby C. on the roster the entire year.
Hit to third for Brandon Inge. One away.
And he also wanted to keep Marcus Timms on the roster as well.
Mission accomplished.
They're both still here. Let's take a look at our Bell Tower pitch by pitch. First pitch fastball right by Ken Griffey Jr. Then he follows it up with a breaking ball. A little show me fastball, at least a couple of them, and he finishes them off with a fastball. That's what Bobby has done a lot more of this year against the left-handers. He only threw Griffey one breaking ball there, whereas in the past, Bobby would throw several breaking balls to the left-handed hitters. And that's why he didn't have a lot of success against them last year.
Vladimir Ballantine. Took over early in this game for Franklin Gutierrez, who had to leave after running into the wall in right field. Drills one high and deep, left field. This might be another home run. It is way back and out of here. The balls have been flying out of Comerica Park tonight. And I mean flying out. It's a 2-run game again. 9-7. That is the 12th hit of the game for Seattle. And their 4th home run.
It's a fastball. You could see that Laird wanted it inside by where he was setting up. And Bobby was not able to get it there. And Ballantine, he's lifted and separated on it.
Ballantine has made quite an impression on this game. Single walk homer.
He's got some skills. As a matter of fact, last year he was getting a lot of playing time in right field when they were playing Ichiro in center.
Bobby comes off to make this play, and they just got the runner at first base, Langerhans.
That's why you take your time when fielding bunts and balls hit back at you. Bobby did not panic, even though it was going to be a very close play. Just kind of picked it up with his glove and shuffled it on to Cabrera.
That home run, by the way, also breaks the string, the scoreless string for Bobby.
You cannot make the play unless you field it cleanly. And so many times we see pitchers mishandle the balls because they're always looking at the base runner to see where he's at. And they take their eye off the ball and they don't pick it up cleanly.
2 outs. And Kenji Jojima due up. That streak was 22 outings, over 15 innings worth. It comes to an end. Two teams have combined for 7 home runs in this game, the most in a Tigers game this year. 9-7. Jojima's 1 for 3. Strike one. Jojima was a 6-time All-Star in Japan. He won 7 Gold Gloves in Japan as well. Just missed, but did he go? He went. 1-2. The 4 home runs for Seattle, a season high. Pretty close. Ballnart said it was a strike. There's the 1-2. In the air to center for Curtis Granderson. That's all for Seattle. They get a run closer, though. The home run by Ballantine. Raced out to a 5-1 lead, but Hanahan's been big tonight.
How about Hanahan? He's got 2 solo shots in this game, and he came in struggling in the month of July, but he's been getting busy tonight.
In the 6th inning, Miguel Cabrera, a line drive home run just over the wall and left. 7 home runs between the two teams. It has been a slugfest tonight. Here's the Comerica game summary. Ordonez, his 7th career grand slam. Polanco's had a big night, and so has Hanahan. And you're looking at some of the headgear that, no, they're not Spartan fans out there in the Seattle bullpen. They have taken the 300 theme, the movie 300, and they call themselves the Warriors. And so this is what they do. They bring their gear out to the pen every day before the game and set it up. Is that classic?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That is very nice.
How about John Wetland out there? Yeah, their bullpen coach, number 28. He was a fierce competitor himself.
Boy, was he. So the Tigers, leading it by 2, come to the bat in the bottom of the 7th. Roy Corcoran is the new pitcher for Seattle.
16 walks for Corcoran in 18 innings. This might bode well for the guys in white tonight. That's a lot of walks. And already, he's fallen behind Rayburn, 2 balls and no strikes.
Inge and Laird to follow. Well, there have been 5 walks tonight for Seattle pitching overall. There's ball 3. Corcoran earlier this year had a bad neck, which put him on the disabled list. Jim Leland looking over the information that he has gathered, trying to figure out the rest of this game, where his team is now just leading by 2. There's a strike as Rayburn takes a pitch. 3-1. Ryan had a 2-run triple in the second, has driven in 25. There's another strike, so Corcoran with his back to the wall deals 2 in the strike zone. 3-2. He missed high. Good at bat for Rayburn. He works the walk. Leadoff man is on. See what the Tigers have in store here for Brandon Inge. Long look down at Gene Lamont. Strike 1. 9 Tigers hits tonight. Polanco has 2. Cabrera has 2. Maglio, of course, has the grand slam, and Rayburn has tripled in 2. They've spread the offense around pretty good this evening. Fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes on Inge. Rayburn leading it off for the walk. Brandon with 21 home runs. Of course, he hit a couple right before the All-Star break here at home.
It's only been a couple of Tigers to have 20 or more home runs at the All-Star break. Dean Palmer also had it. 20 or more home runs when he was playing for the Tigers. And Brandon just the second one.
Well, it certainly was an impressive first half. And Inge with 58 RBIs leads the ball club. When you look back at the first half, you could make an argument that he was the Tigers MVP. You could also make one for Verlander, for Jackson. And you could talk about Cabrera as well on that list.
All 4 did well.
Ground ball foul, third base side.
3 of the 4 were All-Stars. Those 2 games that Jackson and Verlander pitched in Yankee Stadium, sensational. Neither got a win, but they both deserved one.
Luke French pitched well in that series. The 1-2 is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Brandon Inge.
He had a lead when he left, didn't he? 3-2.
He sure did. And Teixeira hit that big home run. 2-2 on Brandon Inge. Tigers have a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 7th. Ground ball to third. Hanahan fires to second one. Tough turn and a nice play by Lopez.
He must have been playing some soccer. somewhere. To have that kind of footwork on a bad feed from Hanahan and still turn it over. Most guys at second just kind of eat this and they don't try to turn it over, but he kind of shifted his direction. He jumped out of the way, landed on 1 foot, and still threw a strike to Branyan. Jeez.
Hanahan kind of handcuffed by this ball a little bit, took an extra step or second to feed that ball, and the runner was right on top of Lopez. Base is empty, 2 outs for Gerald Laird. Gerald 0 for 3. Brandon Lyons starting to warm up in the Detroit bullpen. Getting ready to pitch the 8th. And then hopefully Rodney with the lead in the 9th. Ground ball, base hit right field. It went the other way. And squibs one into right field. 2-out single for Laird. Going to give Adam Everett a chance. Same 2 teams tomorrow in the middle game of the series. Tigers facing Felix Hernandez tomorrow. Armando Galarraga will go for the Tigers. Well, we've talked about how these 2 teams came in with some pretty good pitching, but tonight 7 homers, 22 hits. And combined totals.
Baseball is a funny game. The Tigers will not be able to sidestep Felix Hernandez. He goes tomorrow, but I know Seattle, when they heard they weren't facing Verlander and Jackson in this series, it was no problem at all for them. There's King Felix, who's emerging as a star in this game. He's only 23 years old, still a baby.
Oh, he's a big-time stud, an all-star this year, 10-3 with a 2.5 ERA. Verlander will go in the first game of the doubleheader against the Chicago White Sox. It's popped up. Right side of the infield, Branyan in foul territory to retire the side. Tigers going to walk and a hit, but do not score. We go to the 8th. Hanahan, Cedeno, Ichiro on the way. The ballpark. Been a total of 22 hits between the 2 teams in this one. It's been a wild back and forth game. Well, the Tigers guess not back and forth. They had a big lead early, but now it's been chipped away. Chicago leading Tampa, meanwhile, 2-1. That is in the bottom of the 6th inning at U.S. Cellular Field. Meanwhile, Leland has to bite his nails to hang on to this one. Bobby C goes back out there. They've got a couple of lefties in this inning, including Hanahan, who leads it off. And he looks at a strike. Ichiro is due third in this frame. And then it's Brandon who's behind him, so it's another lefty. Lifted back out of play. 0-2 on Hanahan, who's hit a couple of homers tonight. Fortunately for the Tigers, both to lead off an inning, which makes them solo shots. Oh, 0-2. We talked a little bit earlier about Verlander going in game 1 of that doubleheader on Friday. The Tigers, and Jim Leland said today that it will be somebody from the minor leagues in game 2, so they will not throw Verlander and Jackson in that doubleheader. The Tigers are not ready to announce who will pitch in that second game, but JV goes in game 1. Swing and a miss. He takes care of Hanahan, who goes down on strikes. First strikeout for Bobby C.
And fastball up 1-2. Hanahan could not hold up on it.
Here comes the skipper. They've had Lyon warming up. Is he going to keep him in for just one lefty? Apparently so. So another pitching change. We'll be back. Tigers go right back to the pen in a 9-7 game. Seven, 1 out, nobody on. Brandon Lyon is coming on to pitch now for Bobby C, who goes an inning and a third. And here are the numbers on Lyon.
He's been lights out lately. Lyon has kind of added that cutter to his repertoire at about 87 and 89 miles an hour. It kind of acts like a slider to go along with his regular fastball and that slow breaking ball. And the results have been very good for him. He's been very good out of the Tigers bullpen lately.
And he delivers a first pitch strike to Ronnie Cedeno.
And they'll need him to be as good once again here tonight against a pesky Seattle Mariners team that just won't go away here tonight.
Quickly 0-2. They have battled because at one point this was an 8-1 game.
Could have very easily rolled over.
Bobby C gave up a solo shot to Ballantine in the 7th, but that's it. Retired the other 4 batters he faced.
Most often, if you give up solo shots, they're not going to hurt you too bad.
Tried to bust him in, but missed the corner. 1-2.
He's done a nice job this year against righties and lefties, has Lyon. And he'll face Ichiro next.
The hook got him looking. Cedeno knew it. 2 gone.
Big breaking ball here from Lyon. This ball started up around the neck of Cedeno and ended up right around the knees. Thanks for coming.
Here's Ichiro. Strike 1. The hook on the outer edge. Over his last 22 outings, Lyon has compiled a 1.91 ERA.
Woo, that's that cutter. That's that cut fastball I was talking about. It has been a lethal pitch for him.
And because of it, he's up 0-2 now on Ichiro.
Lyon saved 26 games last year for the Arizona Diamondbacks, most of those in the first half of the season. He struggled down the stretch, and that's one of the reasons why the Tigers were able to acquire him.
Oh! Whoa, was that close? Just a touch off the plate. 2-2 pitch. High fly ball. Right field. Thomas to retire the side. And carried all the way to the warning track. We go to the bottom of the 8th. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Back here at the ballpark where the Tigers are holding on to a slim lead, 9-7 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. One of the great parts of this ballpark, the different decades of Tigers baseball and their illustrious history on display here, and great photo opportunities every night in this ballpark. Shaun White is the new pitcher now for Seattle.
He's got good numbers. Apparently pitches to quite a bit of contact. Just 19 strikeouts in 42 and a third innings pitched this year. And the opponent's hitting just 203 against him. And you talked about that bullpen and the fact that they were stingy giving up home runs. He's only given up 2.
Well, he has the top of the lineup, Granderson, Polanco, and Cabrera here in the bottom of the 8th. And the first pitch is in for a strike.
A little swing back fastball there at 90 miles an hour from White. A lot of late life on that pitch.
0-2.
White appears to be one of those old school type pitchers. Kind of starts at the waist and takes the glove and the hand over the head. A little hesitation with the left leg before he chucks it home.
Backhanded play by Branyan, and White covers to nip Granderson at first base.
Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Detroit Tigers at Tigers.com. You can browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers gear, including clubhouse, caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and a whole lot more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop. Get your bobblehead too.
Jim Leland bobblehead. Sweet.
I didn't know Jim had one of those.
Didn't either. She must have got that at the Tigers.com shop. Here's Polanco. Ball 1 to Placido. Doubled and homered in his first 2 at bats. A couple of RBIs. Polanco now 7 home runs this season. 1 ball, 1 strike.
White's got a good two-seam fastball. He's got some good movements with that pitch. You can see why he does not get a lot of strikeouts. But tons of ground balls.
Each team with double-digit hits tonight. The Tigers have 10, Seattle with 12. Cabrera waiting on deck. Strike call. 3-2 on Placido. Tigers got a home run from Cabrera in the 6th for their 9th run of the game, and that turned out to be a big one, lengthening their lead a little bit. 3-2 pitch. He is fouled away. 32,000 plus in attendance here tonight. In fact, to be exact, 32,906 at the ballpark this evening.
Another great crowd on a Tuesday night.
3-2 pitch is hit back up the middle to second base. Lopez has it. A couple of ground ball outs, 2 away in the 8th. The closer, Fernando Rodney, heating up.
It's been a while since he pitched. Did not pitch in the 3 games in New York. And of course, 4-day All-Star break. Got to go all the way back to that final weekend of the first half that Rodney has been out there.
Cabrera hits one high and deep to right center field. Does this one have enough? No, off the top of the wall. He almost hit another one out just below the yellow line in right center field. Cabrera hit that one a ton.
Good to see his bat perk up. He's got a 16-game hitting streak, but he's been getting a lot of singles in that 16-game hitting streak. His last time up, he played long ball and almost did it again. Yeah, they need some extra base hits from the big boy.
Almost. Two-out, 2-base hit. See if Thames can get him home. Strike 1, good pitch, outer edge. That's 11 Tigers hits, and Cabrera has been on base 5 times tonight. Single, double, homer, 2 walks. 0-2. Each team has used 5 pitchers tonight. In the 9th inning, it'll be Branyan, Lopez, and Ken Griffey Jr. So we face Fernando Rodney. Thames would like to make it a little bit more comfortable for him. Of course, if he hits one out, it'll take the save situation out of order. Two walks tonight for Marcus. Two deep fly ball outs. Here's the 1-2. That one got the home plate umpire. It somehow snuck through Jojima and drilled Paul Nart right in the foot. Left foot. Even the umpires have some protective gear on their shoes. That might have come in handy right there. Swing and a miss. Thames goes down. We go to the 9th. Delivered. Last call for Seattle as we go to the 9th inning in a 9-7 ball game. 32,000 plus. Hoping the Tigers can come back home and start this homestand with a win. They are 3 outs away from doing just that. And the Tigers will try and put this one in the win column courtesy of Fernando Rodney.
It's been July 10th since the last time Rodney was on the mound for the Tigers. Yeah, but his numbers are good. 19 saves and 19 opportunities. Yeah, the league is hitting .229 against him, and he has 34 strikeouts in 39 innings.
So Fernando will face Russell Branyan to lead it off.
Rodney was tinkering with a slider at the tail end of last year. Yeah, but no longer throwing that pitch. Yeah, he is pretty much fastball changeup. And a good changeup. And at times an overpowering fastball.
Branyan is 0 for 4. Swing and a miss. There's that wicked changeup. 1-1. This is a save situation, and in those situations, Rodney has been, well, really good. 0.95 ERA. Another changeup, same result.
Only a few guys walking around with a swing and miss pitch as a changeup for a strikeout pitch, and Rodney's one of them. Yeah, but he can also elevate that fastball about 96, 97 to get a strikeout as well. They're going to throw one here. Not sure where they want it, but they're going to throw it.
Oh, that was the last thing you wanted.
Yeah, they didn't want it to.
Ahead in the count, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball hits the batter.
Didn't want it there. And he just uncorked this bad boy, and nothing Branyan could do.
That'll bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out. Jose Lopez. And Rodney now is going to have to navigate through the middle of their lineup. Lopez, big night tonight. 2 hits. RBI run scored. Lifted back out of play, 0-2. Fouled away.
Lopez has been doing a lot of that today. And once he's gotten 2 strikes on him.
Lopez, by the way, is a guy that will ground into a lot of double plays. 15 this year, which is the second most in the American League. One of those would look really good right here. Back up the middle. Polanco off his glove. Everybody is safe. So the tying runs are on for Seattle. Nobody out. Rodney got his ground ball, but it was placed right back up the middle.
Yeah, Rodney right past his glove. Looked like Polanco and both Everett were going for the ball, and I think because Polanco saw Everett coming, he was trying to field it, knowing he had to run back to the bag to get the out at second base. And no one is out.
13 hits for Seattle. Tying runs on, and here is Ken Griffey Jr. Griffey tonight is 1 for 4 with a single.
Tigers on the infield have an abbreviated shift on with Griffey, Polanco playing in the hole. And Everett not quite behind that second base bag, but shading him up the middle.
1-0. Griffey's only faced Rodney twice in his career, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. One ball, 1 strike on Ken Griffey Jr. An impressive job by Seattle tonight to continue to battle. They are doing so here in the 9th inning with the first 2 runners reaching a hit batter and a single. Branyan and Lopez for base runners. Popped up. Foul ground. Right field line. Long run. Nobody can get there. Polanco is the closest, I think.
And Cleveland Wright playing real deep because you don't want any doubles. You don't want the ball hit over your head. Therefore, he couldn't get there. Cabrera couldn't get there. Polanco with a slide couldn't make the grab himself. I guess you could call it perfectly placed by Ken Griffey Jr.
That it was. Still alive, 1-2. Ground ball to first. Cabrera will take the out. Griffey is retired. And the runners move up. Well, time for the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention Assist of the game. And we're going to get to the bullpen tonight. They've been pretty good this evening.
And you got Nee that came in first. Then you've got Minor. He came in, did his job. Followed by Bobby C. And then Brandon Lyon. And now Rodney's got to finish it off.
Well, the tying runs are in scoring position now for Valentine. 9-7, Tigers lead. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. Single walk and a homer for Vladimir Valentine. Swing and a miss. Changeup, 0-2.
Back-to-back changeups to Valentine. And really no need in throwing him another strike here. And you've got to expand the strike zone and see if he will swing at something out of the strike zone for at least 2 pitches.
Gets by Laird through his legs. But the runners will hold. Brandon came about halfway and then was waving Lopez back to second.
Brandon got a late break. But then again, you don't really want to force the issue. It's a changeup down. Laird tries to get over and smother it. The ball trickles about 10 feet behind him. Brandon with a slow break. He didn't see it initially. Lopez read it pretty good on second, but he had nowhere to go. Rodney has touched 99 with that last fastball to Valentine and has gone as low as 82 with his changeup. Those pitch speed ranges courtesy of Comcast.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Valentine goes down 2 away. And 1 more to go for Fernando Rodney.
From 1 fastball, all the other pitches were changeups, and what a job there by Laird, smothering this ball. You call for the changeup, you know you've got to anticipate it being down. Laird did that and gloved it cleanly.
9 strikeouts for Tigers pitching tonight. Here is Langerhans. He sends a fly ball into right field. Should do it. Thomas is under it, and the Tigers will hold on to win this one.
A good win for the team, especially after dropping 3 straight in New York. Good win.